Alright, hello friends, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Divine Speaker. As you may notice, the background is different for my face cam in this episode because I'm currently out of town. I've downloaded the Divine Speaker on my laptop, which is not a gaming laptop in any sense, but I figured a visual novel is probably pretty okay to play on any laptop. And we're going to play a little bit more of The Divine Speaker. Hopefully everything's sounding good, looking good. This light is really bright, so I'm dying inside. But for you, I hope everything is going well. Let's hop into it. I did double check that I have my saves for this, unlike a certain other series that I'm supposed to be recording as well tonight. But it didn't take long for the two of us to reach the inn, where we found Fawn sitting alone at a table. The rest of the room was empty. As we approached, he turned to us and smiled. Did it go okay? No, I'm dying. Rest in peace, Leos. Mouseboy, I need you to take care of my kids. Okay? What? Don't be an idiot. He's fine. He just has to take it easy for a couple of days. Isn't that right? Yeah, whatever. You ruined my fun, though. Leos pulled out a chair and sat down with Fawn. I guess I'll do the same then. Nikos was nowhere in sight, so the three of us sat alone in the inn. Outside, a few people bustled around, the sun still high in the sky. So, what do we do from here on out? What can we do? What do we even have to do? We might as well make ourselves comfortable here for a while. We don't have anywhere else to go. Honestly, what do you even mean by we? I only came with you because I had to. I see no reason to stick around. That's upsetting, Leo. I guess so. But you can't just run off alone. Where would you even go? Wouldn't it be rude if we just kept staying here, though? We can't rely on Nikos' good nature forever. What do you suggest? I don't know. Then why bother opening your mouth? Sorry. For now. Cass? Is that you? The door to the cavern opened with a creak. Huh? Sorry, I think you've... Oh, Caspian, it is you! Wait, what? You haven't aged a day! How long has it been? I looked up from where I was sitting. An older man was standing by our table, looking into my face eagerly. That name. Where have I? I've heard it before. He's not... That's it. It has. How long would you say it's been, really? Wow, Rain knows how to lie? I'm proud of him. Fawn and Leos flashed me a confused look, but I ignored them. If this is what I think it is... Well, it's been a good 18 or 19 years, surely. What brings you back through these parts? You know, just a bit of travel. Say, you remember that last time we met? My memory must be giving out on me. Whereabouts was I headed again? You're still the same old guy, after all. You were on your way to Oxhaver, right? Of course, how could I forget? Anyway, it was great seeing you again. We should catch up sometime if you'll be around these parts. Oh, sure. I'll be around town, so drop by again sometime. The old man turned and left, and a silence filled the... I like how he just entered to talk to Caspian, and then left. Like, that was the only reason he came into this inn, tavern, bar. What just happened? Caspian? This is it. I pulled the book out of... You still have the book. That's fun. I pulled the book out from my clothes and set it down on the table for everyone to see. He could still be alive. What are you talking about? Slow down and explain yourself. I mentioned it a few days ago, but I never thought to show you the actual book. When I was in the speaker's archive, I found so many books. I didn't think about it until now, but one was called Sid Cahem. Vaughn, you said that's a city out here, right? Why would he own a book like that? Everything inside was scribbled out. Does that mean that the speaker does know something about this place? But more importantly, I found this. Look at this. It matches, but I can't read it. The page before, though, I can read. It's some kind of bloodline, which I can only assume is the royal family. Or was. It ends in Prince Caspian, dated 37 years ago. Vaughn and Leo slunk in closer to look at the book and listen to my ramblings. I thought that he must be dead because of what Leo's told me before, and I was disappointed because it was my only lead, but if he was seen here 18 or 19 years ago, he could still be alive. But he's from Aurelia Cavella too. How would he know to come here? Maybe we weren't the first to leave. Before, you told me that he was assumed dead. Could it be possible that he lived and escaped instead? And came here, the first town outside of the forest? But they told me it could be possible, yes. I didn't see his body. Do you have a backstory with Caspian? Interesting. Didn't see his body. But why did he mistake you for him? I don't know. We could look similar, but I'm not sure. He could also just be a delirious old man. I thought on it for a moment, but even if I did look like him, no one ever told me at home. Caspian. He might know something about these markings. I have to find him. But I won't force you two to come with me. I couldn't. We've already done so much together. It was a real journey. I'm coming with you. Me too. What? I just said. I've spent enough time around you to know you'll easily get yourself killed if you go on by yourself. And unfortunately, I owe you one. And I just want to come with you. I don't want to stay here alone. Guys, thank you so much. You can thank me later when I save you from Flower Boy cooking you up for dinner. What? I don't eat people. Of course not. He turned his eyes back to me. The real question is, why didn't you tell me about this before? Do you think keeping secrets will help you find him? A minute ago, you were telling me I'm too trusting. And it's not like he knows everything yet. That strange thing that happened with Fawn. I've heard of Oxhaber. It's pretty far from here. A few days' walk, at least. How are we meant to get there if walking isn't an option? I mean, it was a few days' walk from Aurelia Cavella to here. Why couldn't it be a few days' walk? Why is the journey to Oxhaber not good enough for you? Maybe you could hitch a ride on a wagon. I wish I could read. Ah! Whoops, didn't mean to scare you. Ah, for the love of... Yes. Yes, you did mean to scare them. Where do you keep popping up from? I heard you talking about Oxhaber just now, so I thought I'd give you a suggestion. Traders from Oxhaber regularly bring their goods to sell at the local markets and back out. Something tells me they aren't like goods as in props, items. I feel like you're talking about people. That's my first thought of like a good that isn't a good, right? And they return with empty wagons. I'm sure if you ask nicely enough, one will let you hitch a ride. That's a great idea. But what do you mean in back alleys? Oxhaber is known for its, well, its glass. High quality, tough stuff. So they have a lot of questionable goods. You'll find out when you get there, I'm sure. What are you about to get me into, Nikos? I see. Where can we find them then? If you head north toward the outskirts of the town is our major stables. They usually park their carts up there. I'm sure if you ask around, you'll find someone heading to Oxhaber. Then that's where we're headed. And take this. It's only a measly sum, but you earned it last night. That's really nice, actually. He handed over a small, jingly sack. I'll look after that. I don't trust you not to get robbed again. Leos plucked the bag from out of my hands. Probably for the best. Nikos, thank you. I don't know how, but I'll definitely repay you for this. Sure. Come by someday and perform for me again. Really, that was all fun, so... Of course. We said our final goodbyes to Nikos. I hope the day comes when I can pay him for it. So, we're going to go from driver to driver, one at a time, and ask if they'll let 3 guys sit in the back. I guess so? Worst they can do is say no. I don't trust you not to run your mouth again. Let me do the talking. Outside, it was cooling down as the sun started to set over the horizon. Birds jumped from branch to branch of nearby trees and sung a beautiful song. Reminds me of that strange guy last night and his pet bird. We headed north and eventually came across the village stables. They were filled with dozens of vehicles, from wagons and carts to full-blown carriages. One in particular caught my eye. Black, with a gold trim, and polished to perfection. Unfortunately, the driver was nowhere to be seen. Not that someone with obvious riches would let 3 dirty guys sit in the back. In fact, not many of the drivers were here at all. Most sat empty, the stables being nearly devoid of life. Is there anyone around? Look. Han pointed to a pile of wooden boxes where a large man sat and picked at his fingernails. I'll go. No. Leos approached the man quietly and tapped him on the shoulder. We're looking for someone that will give us a ride to Oxhaber. You know anyone? He remained silent, staring into Leos's eyes, before grunting and pointing his chin in the direction. When I turned to look, I couldn't help but be surprised. Sitting in the driver's seat of a cart was a woman with big, messy hair, staring into the distance. I know Leos told me to stay quiet, but... Hello, miss? She cast her large eyes down at me. Yes. My friends and I, we're looking for transport to Oxhaber, but we don't know the way. Is this your wagon? Her wagon was average-looking, wooden, and a little rough around the edges, but sturdy. It could easily hold us in the back. To Oxhaber? She looked us all up and down before her eyes finally settled on me again. Yes, this is my wagon. Why are you going there? We're looking for someone. A friend. I see. Are you going to Oxhaber? Me? Yes? I am. This is going nowhere pretty fast. Miss, would you let us come with you? Didn't I already say yes? No, you didn't. Is this girl some kind of... Shh. Thank you. When do you leave? I leave now. Maybe she's just a little shy. So do we just get on the back? Please. We climbed in the back after her. How long does it take to get to Oxhaver, miss? She spoke with her back turned to us, moving barrels and crates to make room for us. It's actually quite spacious back here. Half a day. We should be up there by sunup tomorrow. I see. We can't thank you enough, really. Well, I was on my way back anyway. Why don't we introduce ourselves? Good idea. My name's Rain. You can call me Leos, if you must. I'm Fawn. Her eyes stuck on Fawn for a moment before she opened her mouth. My name is Lelis. Tell me, where are you from? Me? I live by myself. I mean, he lives alone, not far from here. Really? Your face reminds me of a customer of mine. Have you ever been to Cliffspire? Gasp. Huh? That's a weird reaction. He was fumbling over his words and staring at the ground. That itself isn't much different to usual, but... You must have the wrong guy. He's Aurelian, through and through. Don't call him that if nobody's supposed to know about Aurelia Cavella. Leos's head dropped into his palm. Sorry, Leos, I had to help him somehow. I see. Well, no matter. Tell me more about the friend you're looking for. By now, the sky was slowly darkening. Stars were beginning to peek out from above. We're looking for a man named Caspian. Don't say his name! He traveled through these parts many years ago. Caspian? I'm afraid I've never heard of him. Oxhaver is a small place, so I'm sure you'll find out something. You said you sell stuff, right? On looked towards I forgot how I pronounced her name. Lilas? So, what exactly do you sell? I sell happiness to every corner, and hopefully one day beyond. Does that mean what I think it means? That's a strange description. Happiness? That could be anything. I see. It's about time we leave, then. She climbed into the driver's seat and took the reins between her slender fingers. She pet the single horse lightly, and it neighed at her touch. With only a slight movement, the horse began pulling the cart slowly through the streets. Lanterns inside the houses of Stagwitch were slowly coming to life. Nothing beats the atmosphere of a town at night. What's that sound? There we go! Oh! Did you just jump in with us? Everything shook as someone catapulted into the back of the wagon. Ah! Yo. Another friend? I guess. We're all the best of friends. Feel free to keep going. As you wish. Oh, for fuck's sake, what is it now? Did you not harass us enough yesterday? Hey, I'm just looking for a ride to Oxhaver. Surely you have enough room for one more. You're going to Oxhaver too? What for? Ah, you know, sightseeing. We're travelers. You've never heard of the Oxhaver glassblowers? What a pairing. Crazy man and his bird traveling the world together. Keeping it around in case you get hungry. You know me so well already. You're making me blush. Ugh. The bird Varus hopped from his head to his shoulder, tweeting along the way. Do I seriously have to sit in an enclosed space with him until tomorrow? I think I'd rather walk. More room for me then. It's fine, Leos. I elbowed him lightly and whispered into his ear. It's just one night. We didn't get much of a chance to talk last night anyway. This is a great opportunity to get to know each other. Then you can start with introducing yourself properly. Didn't you hear? I go by Fox now. The man's eyes went to his shoulder, where his bird pecked him lightly. Quickly, he looked back to me. Actually, I was a little curious. A little birdie told me just the other day Stagwitch was filled with smoke. Apparently there was a fire in the nearby forest. Did you guys see that? The fire? You could see it from here? Oh, were you closer to it? Yeah, Leos wrapped his arm around me and covered my mouth. I'm sure a decent group like yourselves wouldn't have anything to do with it, right? Of course not. He smirked at us. Of course not. You just so happened to arrive the next day, right? How did you... I'm glad we managed to hear the walking kaleidoscope sing, at least. Oh, what a voice. The long trip out the Stagwitch was worth it for that alone. I was assuming you were from Stagwitch, but you're not. Interesting. The bird pecked at him again, and the man glanced back towards him. Is that how it shows affection? Maybe it wants to be pet. I think that bird a big brain. Like a bigger than bird brain. I think that bird knows things. Noticing my gaze, the green-haired man gently ran a single fingertip over the bird's head, and it stopped. I also heard some weird rumors going around town. Someone with a curse appearing in the middle of the night. I doubt that the knowledge level of anyone in Stagwitch is very high, though. They're simple people. Anything slightly strange, they call it a curse or a demon. He eyed me up closely. A fire in the middle of the forest, and someone with a curse appearing in the small town of Stagwitch. I wonder, could these two things be connected? I don't know why you're asking me. I don't know anything about it. No, don't mind me. I'm just thinking out loud. Guy puts me on edge. He acts friendly, but it's like there's something else he's after too. It's a little suspicious. Come on, I'm a friend. No need to look so tense. I'm an open book. Ask me any questions you want. There's nothing I don't know. Well, we've asked your name before and you refused to give it, so... Nothing? How full of yourself can you get? Funny, coming from him. Anyway, this could be a good opportunity. That third option, I'm not gonna say it, but, I want to know more about Varus. I want to know about Oxhaver too, but we're going that way, so I'll learn it eventually. Tell me about your bird. Actually, I was a little curious myself. Your bird was named Varus, right? Where did you find him? Find him? He's the one that found me. Let's be honest, no one can resist my charms. I don't even have to open my mouth, too. Ow! The bird pecked him on the neck, making him jump. Alright. I'm partial to a little music myself and play a few instruments. I play a few times a week outside, and I noticed a little blue bird would come and listen. One thing led to another, and Varus decided to come with me. Seduced by my music instead of my charms. Seduced? Do wild animals usually... that's not too different to fawn, really. Keeping wild animals. I wanted to ask, but... His eyes lit up again. Can you talk to animals? Don't be stupid. In a way, sure. Not another one. Since you guys asked me 2 questions, it's only fair that I ask another, right? Then my question is, have any of you ever seen a demon? Where are you taking this? A what? A demon. You haven't then? Red? I have a name. Leos. You know what? It's actually worse hearing you say my name. What's your answer? Never heard of him. That leaves one. Me? Fawn's hands balled into fists in his lap. I don't think oh, this is interesting. The quietest one, the least likely one, knows something? No, once, I think I saw some kind of demon. Are demons really evil? That's a decision you've got to make for yourself. I can ask multiple questions. Oh, sure. What do you know about Oxhaver then? Have you been to Oxhaver before? Just once. What do you know about it? For the last 100 years or so, it's mostly been run by the Murano family. They aren't technically in charge, but they control the glass industry. Everyone else is basically eating out of their hands. The glass industry? Nicholas brought that up too. When the Muranos arrived, Oxhaver glass was so rare that only the rich could afford it. They capitalized on it hard and brought glass to the general populace. They bought terrain and heavy-duty equipment and financed the other companies that already existed. They basically bought the place out. Instead of using sand from Stagwich and other nearby beaches, they started importing it from countries beyond the sea. Apparently the sand is endless there, but I've never seen it myself to confirm that. It's a little strange. When they arrived, they were already drowning in riches. Where did they come from? You're very knowledgeable, sir. That was actually a really detailed answer. I didn't expect him to be so serious. Also, while I'm thinking about it, so every so often you're noticing that some of the text is colored. Underneath where my camera is, there's a little journal, and I haven't opened it yet, but I'll do it right now just to show you. There's little things like people, random people. We could look at the green-haired man, for example. Places, Aurelia Cavello, lore, mysteries. I've never opened this menu before, but I think it's really interesting that there's a menu, and I'm assuming that the stuff like this... Oh, I can click on it? Interesting. Cool. I've never used this option, but it's there. Just in case you're wondering why occasionally some things are in color. They export all over Vidus now, all the way to Sid Kaim. I answered your question, so what now? It's my turn. A group like yourselves of such varied personalities. How did you meet? I looked between Leos and Fawn. How did we meet? So... Think quick. I met Fawn after I started my journey to Stagwich. One thing led to another, and he decided to join, right? Right. And Red? Leos? I'm just along to protect them. Pay me enough and I'll do anything. Oh, really? I'll keep that in mind. I've gotta ask the question, it's there. And it's also gonna be really funny, but... Thinking on the new things that I've learned lately, there is something I'm curious about. Have you ever been in love? What? This isn't really the time to... Have I ever been in love? Who asked that? Of all the questions you could ask someone like me, that's what you want to know? I shrugged at him. Sorry, I thought you said you'd answer my questions. Was I wrong? I messed around with a few guys when I was younger. Was I in love? Sure, at the time it felt like it. It felt like it? You tend to get consumed by the other person at the time, but looking back, it was probably just lust or not wanting to be alone. Love's a little deeper than that. Really? Can you explain it to me? He raised an eyebrow at my question, but continued talking anyway. Ah, jeez. Why am I giving relationship advice out to a kid? People often describe love as some happy feeling you get in your chest when you get along perfectly with your partner. It's more than that. It's the choice to stick by them through difficult times, through sickness, disagreements, and all the stupid things that either of you do. I have thoughts about this character. And that line right there didn't quite confirm for me, but it's very interesting in the thoughts that I have. I don't want to share them because what if I'm wrong? I'm right, you know? Like, I think I have you figured out. Man, I don't even know the name of, literally. That's what makes your relationship stronger. Sometimes it has to be hard and hurt a little. It's all a part of the experience. It's exposing yourself and putting your complete trust in another person. This goes both ways, too. If only one person is putting in the effort, then is that really love anymore? Sounds difficult. What about you, then? I'll be honest, this is a little weird to be chatting about so casually, but you haven't ever been in love? His eyes hovered on Fawn for a second before moving to Leos. He doesn't even know. You have a few handsome bachelors right here. I still don't really know what it feels like. Leos? Sounds like a waste of time. One little birdie is staying quiet. I haven't. Sometimes being honest with yourself is the hardest part. Stagwitch was long gone now. When I looked out at the landscape, it was filled with fields and farms, with the occasional cottage or ranch. It was peaceful, watching the world go by from a gently rocking wagon. Well, it would have been peaceful, but there were too many noisy people in such a small space for it to be quiet. Oh, I have a question. A wide smile spread over his face as he stretched out casually. What were your judgments? Okay. What? You know, your judgments. What do the gods have to say about you three? I looked at Leos, but his eyes looked just as panicked as mine. Judgments? What's that? Fawn looked at the green-haired man with his straight face. Stop babbling nonsense. Fair enough. Forget I asked. Well, we've got a long journey ahead of us. Guess I get some beauty sleep. Because to my understanding, maybe I'm wrong here, but Fawn didn't know what judgments were. Judgments are only a thing in Aurelia Cabela, right? But I didn't think that the green-haired man was from Aurelia Cabela. But he said it so casually. And he seemed shocked. When everybody else was like, oh my god, I don't know what a judgment is. I know nothing about this man. But I want to know. I think he's interesting. I don't think I'll sleep. I don't think sleep will help with that. Should give it a try, too. With a laugh, he leant backwards enough for Varys to hop onto his chest, away from the wind. Feel free to sleep for the rest of the trip if you want. We couldn't. Aren't you tired, too? Not that it stopped the green-haired man. His eyes were already shut. I'm used to it. I travel overnight a few times a week. I feel weird kicking somebody to the front. But I also feel weird falling asleep. Maybe I'll sit in the front. How about I join you up front for a while? You three can get some rest first. Be my guest. Are you sure you aren't worn out too? I'm fine for now. I'll make sure to get sleep when I get tired. Leos leaned in close to my ear. Try to be more careful with your words. He might look like he's sleeping, but I don't trust it. Okay. I climbed up front and joined. Lilas? Lilith? Hey. Hello. What to talk about? We sat in silence for a few minutes, but it didn't feel awkward. I think she's a woman of few words. So, I was wondering, how long have you been driving this wagon? This one? Last 3 years. They've been the happiest years of my life. Really? What'd you do before then? Before, I attended the local school in Oxhaber. As the years went by, I found it wasn't for me. It wasn't? I felt lost. Like every single person around me was succeeding, and I was the only person stuck in the same place. But I didn't want to be a disappointment. My family put everything into my education. All their savings were gone. They told me I would be the one to bring them glory and happiness. I felt the weight of their expectations on my shoulders every day. So I stayed in school for another year. By the end of it, my friends and family told me I looked empty. At the time, I wasn't sure what an empty person looked like, but I wanted to fix it. When I finally told them how I felt, they cried for me. They said my happiness comes before anything else. So I decided to travel. I quit school, bought this wagon, and started a small business. Whenever I can, I make deliveries myself. Did it help? She smiled slightly. You tell me? I'd probably describe her as aloof, but not empty. I guess that answers my question. And what about you? Me? I helped out in the orphanage that I grew up in all my life. Now I guess you could say I'm traveling too. Knowledge enriches your mind, but traveling enriches your soul. Both are important, but you have to find a balance that works for you. It's a nice way to look at it. So, what's Oxhaver like? Oxhaver, it's... Deep down, it's a beautiful place. Below the grime and the politics. Lately, strange things have been going on. I'll warn you now, if you intend to stay there, be careful. I poked my head into the back of the wagon. The 3 of them were already fast asleep. I'll tell them when they wake up. They're already fast asleep. You seem close to them, each in a different way. We only met a few days ago, but it feels like a lot longer. I think Fawn and I get along pretty naturally. Leos and I didn't start out on the right foot, but I feel like we've gotten closer now too. I trust them both. Don't tell Leos I told you that, though. But the green-haired guy, I don't really know him. He just jumped on board. 1 freeloader or 5 of them makes no difference to me. Tell me, is there a special one among them? Special? Well, I was gonna say, don't you dare make me choose. They're all special to me. I don't know. Both of them are important and special to me. I wouldn't be here if not for them. That's nice. Being surrounded by people you trust is important. I wouldn't be where I am now without my special people. Ugh. You must be tired. You should join your friends and get some rest. When you wake up, we should be there. Are you sure you'll be alright? Of course. Good night. I climbed back in to where Leos and Fawn were asleep and got comfortable. Looks like it will be a rocky night's sleep. Not where I expected to be, but alright. What a day. Time to clean up and go home, I reckon. I'm surprised he doesn't live at the tavern. Hello? What? Damn lady, I sure fucking am. Did Nikos just die? Help us. Freedom. Watching. Hold on, I need a second to, like, process. So, like, I know she said we're being followed, but it never really popped into my head that that was a big deal. Like, sure, we're being followed, whatever. Someone's following us, and they just killed Nikos because he was in contact with us, didn't they? Icky. Wake up. Hey, Rain. Oi, wake up. Wow. I'm awake. Took you long enough. Were you having a nice dream? Where are we? Oxhaber. If you'd woken up any of the other 100 times we tried to wake you, you would have known that already. Sorry. That annoying asshole's already gone, left before any of us woke up. I poked my head out of the wagon. So this is Oxhaber. Very different looking to Stagwitch. The building, singular, or darker, and it was much quieter. Oh, where did Lelis go? She said she had business to attend to, but we might see her around. Do you guys think something feels slightly off here? It's quiet. Maybe a little too quiet. Maybe everyone's still asleep? Maybe. Not everyone's like you, though. I hopped out of the wagon and had a proper look at the place we found ourselves in. We were left in a wide, dark street, completely devoid of life. A dry gust of wind rattled windows and fences, let out dull creaks. The liveliness of Stagwitch was gone. Well, I'm sure they're nice people as well. Where do we start? We can't just knock on every door and ask. Follow me. How do you know where to go? I don't, but I'm sure we'll get into less trouble following me instead of you. Guys. Look. Vaughn nodded his head to the side a little without making it obvious. When I looked back, I could see eyes. Eyes peering out from windows all around us. Are they watching us? Something's definitely here. This way. Leos pulled us both by the arms down a side alley, out of sight from those prying eyes. Why were they watching us like that? I don't know, but something doesn't smell right. I couldn't help but think back to my dream from last night. Only I could remember it properly. Followed? Watched? I glanced around in every direction, but no one was there. It still felt like eyes were on. You don't think anyone's following us, do you? I don't know. It's not impossible. For now, let's travel down the back street. I'm sure we'll run into someone friendly eventually, right? Don't jinx us like that, okay? You boys look like you're in need of some new equipment. Huh? At the intersection between two pathways, a lady with long black hair called out to us. Her clothes were tight-fitting and shiny. Equipment? Yeah, I see that whip you have there. I can tell we'll have some things you're interested. What do you mean by that? You have things we could use? Really? Of course. What I thought. Our store specializes in not only couple toys, but toys for individual use, too. Guys. Two-person use? I've never seen such a thing. 3-person too, if that's what you're into. Whoa. Why don't you come inside and have a look? Rain. Come on, it could be useful to stock up a little. Don't put me in here. But Don't worry, Fawn. I'm sure Leos knows what he's talking about. I'm sure he doesn't. No, please, this is... Follow me. Despite Fawn's best efforts to turn us around, we followed the lady down the alleyway and into an unmarked doorway. Stairs led directly down to some kind of basement. I ended up needing to cut out the rest of this video because some stuff happened in the game. I even double checked with YouTube to be like, hey, what am I allowed to show on your platform? And they said not this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary of what happened in this section of the game, but I can't show you any of it. I can't let you listen to any of the audio. Here we go, though. So our characters walked into a shop, a not for children shop, you know, and it was very interesting. Let's just say that. There's, oh boy. So predictably, Rain and Leos had no idea what they were getting into. Fawn knew, and he was telling everybody, hey, let's not be in here. But Rain and Leos were really interested in the stuff that was for sale because they thought it was weapons, and they thought that it was like stuff that Leos could use for fighting. They went through every single shelf, every single item in that store. They racked up a bill of $350 or whatever the currency in the game is. I've already forgotten what it's called. And found out that the person who owns this store is Lilas, you know, the girl on the wagon who brought them to Oxhaver. So that's fun. But, you know, obviously they didn't have enough money for 350 currency inserted here worth of stuff. But remember that guy that we bumped into in Stagwitch, short, blonde, was wearing like a little capelet sort of thing? He was there. And he's like, oh my god, don't worry about it. Just put it on my tab. I'll pay it later. You know that I'm good for it. And apparently he is, because Rain and Leos got to keep the items. And he just basically said, like, yeah, it's nice to see other people getting into the same things that I'm into, like the same community, you know? And then they walked outside, and that was the end of the episode, because that was me recording an hour. I know that this video isn't going to end up being an hour long, but after that, it was an hour's worth of content, and I was like, I need to go take a break. It's been 24 hours since then. I'm just very surprised that all that happened. Going forth in this series, because I know there's going to be other scenes like that in the future that I cannot show, so just a general warning for the future. Any other scenes that pop that I'm just going to cut out. I'll do a little like fade to black sort of thing editing wise, but I won't be able to show them in the videos here on YouTube. Good news though, buy the game yourself. Oh my god, I'm marketing now for 2.5 Studios? Amazing. Yeah, I can't show. So anyway, thank you for watching this video though, and I'll see you then to see what's up with this guy. He said his name was Sign, by the way, I forgot to say that. Sign, our third love interest, and see what he's all about. I mean, I know, but